Beautiful to share time and space with all of you. O wauno o Hawane Rios, o Mauna a Wakea ku'u Mauna, o ko hako hau ku'u ka Hawaii, a o pu'u kapu ai mea no ho'i ku'u aina kulaiwi. My name is Hawane. Maunakea is my mountain. Ko hako hau is my water, and pu'u kapu is the land that raised me. This chant that I just did, O hanau ka Maunakea, speaks of our genealogy. O Wakea ke kane, o papavalinu ka wahine. Wakea, the infinite energy of the star realm, of the sky realm, is the father. Papavalinu, of the depths of the earth, is the mother. Born is Mauna a Wakea. Wakea, papahanau moku, the mother of these lands, give birth to Ho'ohoku Kalani, of the star realm. Born of Wakea, her father, Ho'ohoku Kalani, the daughter. Born comes Haloa. Haloa, the food of Hawaii. Haloa, the first kanaka, the first person. So you see here that in our genealogy is the mountain. We are born of this mountain. The people of this land, the people that have the koko running through their veins, our veins. We are born with this responsibility. It is our birthright to protect our ancestors, those who came before, and those who will come after. This sharing is from my bowl. I was raised to know that we all have a bowl in us of wisdom and light and knowledge and water. So from my bowl to your bowl, ke aloha nui. From my heart to your heart, ke aloha nui. From my water to your water, ke aloha nui. I would like to take a moment, if everyone could just shut your eyes. Just shut your eyes and take a breath and breathe into this moment and be here with all of this energy in this room. Come and be here. And think of the place, picture the place, and become the place that raised you. What is the name of the wind that raised you? What is the name of the waters that raised you? What is the name of your mountain? What is the name of your land that raised you? Lift up those names, because those names are sacred. And just take a moment to breathe in that place. Do you have a place? Do you have a wind? Do you have water? Do you know your source of water? Do you know the mountain where your water comes from, the spring where your water comes from? Do you know that place? Where is that place for your ancestors? Where is that place for your parents? Think of those places, bring them up and give them power and give them acknowledgement. Become that place and bring that energy into this room. And if you don't know that place, if you cannot find that place, may you find it. May you find your water. May you find your mountain. May you find a place to help raise you. Pa'ikalima. Please clap 3 times. Pa'ikalima. Pa'ikalima. I was raised to know that a place or a person or something, an object, is sacred because it gives life. A place, a thing, a person is sacred because it gives life. Mauna a Wakea is essential to our very being. our very existence. Maunakea holds an essential form of existence. Maunakea is the keeper of water. And so water is sacred because it gives life. The mountain is sacred because it gives life. That is what I was raised to know, and that is what I will teach my children. The sacred things, earth, air, water, and fire, are sacred because they give life. Without them, we do not exist. Without them, who are we? What are we? They give us life. A lot of these questions that astronomy is trying to answer, I find a lot of these answers to these questions in the Kumulipo, our creation story, where in our worldview, we were not the center. We are part of all things, and all things is a part of us. So our worldview doesn't revolve around us as human beings. It revolves around everything that gives us life. And everything in this universe gives life. And so everything is sacred. We are made up of everything, so we are sacred. Take your power back and know that you are part of all things. We are not separate. I am a part of you. You are a part of me. We are just the dust of the most infinite, the most high, and we are just here to learn. And so thank you. So thank you for this opportunity to learn from one another and to hear each other speak. And for a space like this, I ask that we are open and willing to come from our hearts and come from our na'au, come from our bowl. Because that is the gift. That is a gift of exchange. And here we are exchanging and breathing life into this very room, speaking and uttering the word Mauna Wakea. Wakea is an incredible expanse. There's so many meanings to Maunakea and Mauna Wakea and Wakea. So many meanings that I cannot convey them just in English. But one word that encompasses Wakea is infinite. Infinite. And that is who we descend from. The infinite. The ancient ones. And in this, we find ourselves. And we come back to ourselves. We come back to who we are when we go back to the earth. When we go back to the water that feeds us. When we plant. And when we eat of the food. And when we do this with honor. When we don't just take for the sake of taking, but we learn the exchange of giving. And giving with honor. And with gratitude. And with grace. This mountain is calling now, and I feel it, and we can all feel it, because the world feels it. The eyes of the world are watching now. The eyes of the world are watching and feeling the call of the mountain too, the call of the water. Our people didn't just look at the stars and observe them and try to capture images of them. Our people had a relationship, and still do have a relationship, and it's an exchange. And that exchange teaches us how to navigate oceans, when to plant our food, when to step into the ocean, and when not to. This realm is a great teacher. And if you look at Maunakea, before any of that construction, there wasn't very many archaeological finds there. Archaeological finds, artifacts, shrines, because that place is a temple in itself. That place is sacred. And we actually weren't allowed to go all the way to the top. But in this time, we are called to do so, to protect our sacred place. In the past years, our people have suffered great oppression, depression. And so maybe we all couldn't come out for Maunakea at that time because there were so many other things that were happening. We lost our language. It was stripped from us. Our land was stolen from us. We were tricked out of our land. We were tricked and taken advantage of. And so that is why maybe you didn't see the tens of thousands coming out back then, but there were other issues that they were standing for, and those telescopes went up very quietly. But from the very beginning, there was resistance, and I want to breathe that into this room. From the very beginning, whether it was 1 or 2, they came with their 40, their 400, their 4,000, their 40,000, their 400,000. They came with their ancestors. And so now we're coming by the millions. And we are here as First Nations people to stand up now. It's our time. And it's the time for all of us. Because this issue isn't about just kanaka uwiwi, it's not just about Hawaiians. If you drink water, this issue is relevant to you. So think about that. Do you know where your water comes from? In this district, your water comes from Mauna Wakea, down into these streams, down into these rivers. The place that they're bombing, Pohakuloa, that is an aquifer that holds ancient water from Maunakea. That snow, the purest form of water, comes down into that aquifer. And so this is not just about Maunakea, but this is about taking back our power. And if we call ourselves leaders, if we have to call ourselves leaders now in this movement and in this time, then what I learned, what a leader is, and measured by, is how well you serve the people and how well you serve and manage the land. And so I cannot look at our leaders right now in leadership positions and say that they are true because of the way they are managing our resources and serving the people. The world is calling out now to protect Maunakea, and yet our own government does not listen to that. The world, not just Hawaii and not just Hawaiians. And so this is a time for all Native people, and we are all Native to somewhere. All of us are Native to somewhere. So if you're not Native to here, I hope you know your roots. I hope you know where you come from, where your ancestors come from. I do, because I know many of you were stripped of that. Many of you were stripped of that privilege and honor of knowing where you come from. And so I hope that you get to learn that. Because as a woman, as a kanaka owiwi of this land, I know where I come from. And it is a beautiful feeling to know that this land right here was once walked by my ancestors. This water was once cared for by my blood relations. It is a good feeling to know that. And so I wish that for all of you that don't know that. I truly do from my heart. Because I think and I believe then we will be able to have a real exchange, a real conversation, because you will know what raised you, what and who raised you. You will know your wind. You will know your water. You will know your mountain. And we can come together in that way. In the way of the world, in the way of the land, in the way of the native. And so here and now, we get to make that change together. What is sustainable for our island communities now? What decisions are we making? And who's making the decisions for us? O vai ia, o vaila hoi. Pehea la hoi. Who is that? And how come we gave them that power if they are misusing it? It's our time now. It's our time to look at this earth because the earth is suffering. Our waters are suffering. Our land is racked with chemicals. We are not an experimental site. We are not a place to come and experiment. We are living, and we are still a living people here. So what kind of future are we creating for the next 7 generations? Will they have clean water? Will they have a mountain to call home in their heart and in their wombs and bodies? Will they have fresh food that has not been demeaned? Food that still has its integrity? Will our oceans survive? Because what happens on that mountain happens to our ocean. And look at the state of our oceans. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. And we are not the center of that. And we are not the center of the universe. So how can we step out of that worldview that we have been taught and come back to what community means? What does a community really mean? To speak the truth, to speak from your heart, to speak with kindness, and to come into this wanting to really work out the problems, wanting to really hear each other, really hear each other. That is this time, the time of the changing waters. And so now, we can help our leaders make decisions, assist them in that by rising up for what is right for us and our children and right for our land. Another building on the Mauna is not right for our land right now. An 18-story building with a footprint of 9 acres is not right for our water right now. It is not right for our basic being here on this earth. Before we look out, because I always say they're like really big cameras on our mountain. And although there might be beautiful things that come out of this science, it's not a sustainable science and it's not a clean science because there are chemicals in these telescopes. And there has been spills and there is waste. So do not tell me that it is a clean science because I know that it is not. Do not demean our education and our worldview and our higher education as Native people. Because we are born with a higher education. We are born from scientists that knew of the all, not just of the one. It's a gentleman's science. It's a privileged science. And it's a science that not all benefit from. And so it's about choosing. What science do we support? Because I am a supporter of science and I do believe in science because I am born of that. I am part of 2 particles made into a miracle. We are all miracles. So what is sustainable science? Is that GMOs? Is that depleted uranium all over Pohakuloa? Is that a 30-meter telescope on our mountain? Is that sonar in our oceans? Ole. It's not that. And we, as Hawaiian people, have been deemed lazy and stupid. No, we were suffering. in a deep depression with post-traumatic disorder and intergenerational trauma. And so many in the world suffer from these things. And so how can we come together and heal those things? It's not by continuing to build and destruct the earth that raised us and continues to raise us. We will only find respect for the earth and respect for each other and respect for ourselves if we return to the land, return to the water, return to the mountains. You want higher education, that's where it is. That is where it is. And so I find this process very disturbing, but you know what? I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for the TMT and this whole thing that has happened because it's awakening our people. And it's awakening people around the world to stand with Hawaii this time. We are small, but we are mighty. And this force is rising. It's rising. And now we have people of all colors, all backgrounds, all beliefs, standing with us and saying, we are Maunakea. We are Maunakea. That is a huge statement to make. We are infinite. And we are not defeated. Although Governor Ige has made his announcement, he made that out of fear, and I have compassion for him. I do. Because he doesn't know what he's doing, because he's fearful of the repercussions that may come from $1 billion corporation. But you cannot buy us off with $1 million a year. That's pennies. That's pennies. Oh, in 11 years. Oh, come on. Pennies. You're $1 billion corporation. If you really want to help us, then give us all that money that you were going to use to build the TMT and help us get our land back. Buy our land back. Help us know our water again and know our stream beds. Because you cannot force STEM education into our schools when our students are suffering from that same PTSD and don't even understand some of the concepts that STEM is bringing to us. Don't insult us. Stop insulting us. Because this time we're not taking it. But that doesn't mean we don't aloha you and have compassion for you. Because you, these astronomers, are trying to look for something outside themselves, trying to discover things. That word discover is so hilarious to me. I crack up because I'm like, how do you think that you can discover anything out there? That made you. Time to bow down and know where your roots are, where you're from. Respect. Ayo, uncle. Have some respect. Have some respect for this land and for the knowledge of this land, because if you took some time to talk to us, we could answer some of your questions. We could even quote them out of the Kumulipo, our creation story. If you just talk to us, we would think about sharing with you. Don't insult us. But stand and have a real conversation with us. Because a lot of these talks I've been hearing with astronomers is talking about, oh, this is what the TMT can do, and this is what the TMT will do, and this is how much money we are giving to you. And this is how many jobs we will give to you in your community. We are doing this for you. No, you're not. You're doing this for you. So you can discover something. But I wish you could know that the universe is inside you. All the answers that you want to know, that's inside of you already. That's why our people already knew about that. But there was no conversation. Not an open one, where you really came into a conversation actually wanting compromise. You want us to compromise like we have in the past. There is no compromise in this particular movement right now because we haven't been shown compromise or grace or respect. But that doesn't mean, again, that we come at you without aloha. That doesn't mean that. But aloha also means to speak the truth and be in a firm commitment to the truth and to justice, to what is right. And this is not right. And if the TMT Corporation says that they've consulted with the people, I didn't get consulted. Who got consulted in this group? O Vailaya. Oh. Did they consult the people? Leaders, did they consult the people? No. How are they in service to us? How well are they managing our lands? They want to go and detonate and bomb our mountain so that they can secure this telescope. And it's not a sensitive area. It's not a sensitive area. I've been on that place. I know that place. I've held ceremony with my family on that place for the past 7 years. Shrines that once stood for my kupuna, our kupuna, the kupuna of this land, no longer are standing. And Ahu, a shrine that we built on that land, was taken down. So if you respect us and want to have a conversation with us, then why did you take down our sacred things and not include that in those reports? How come? Pehea. Anokeaha. Nokeaha laia. Why? It's a contradiction because we've been waiting for decommissioning for a long time, and that's been promised for a long time, and they're saying, oh, when the TMT is built, we will decommission. Please, again, do not insult us because that wasn't done yet. They actually built instead of decommissioned. So don't be surprised when we say we cannot trust you. But again, that doesn't mean we don't have aloha for you, because we do. But aloha, there's a misconception about aloha. Do not take my aloha for weakness, because we are born of also warriors. And now we are rising as warriors of peace. Peace for our mountain, our sacred things. But we are fierce. We are fierce in our love for our land, for our Mauna, for our next 7 generations, for our water. So don't believe everything that you hear. Research. Talk to the people before you make your conclusions, before you make decisions. I'm speaking to everyone, community members, before you make your decision about this particular issue. Come, speak with us. We are more than willing to have this conversation from the heart, from the soul, from the womb, from the water. We are willing. Please talk with us. Get to know us and get to know why we care so much about this place. Get to know us, because when you get to know us, you get to know where we come from. And where we come from is a beautiful, sacred land. Where we come from is of the infinite, divine. It's who we are. This mountain is who we are. This mountain has raised us. We're lucky to be alive and lucky to know that, because it's a beautiful time to be alive. So I'm asking you to come and join us and have this conversation and feel the land and let the land help you to come back into who you are. Let the land help you to decide what your stance is on this particular issue. You can listen to the words for days and days. You can read for days and days. But when you go to the land and let the land speak to your heart and to your soul, then that's when you know. And so Come and stand with us. Come and join us. Bring your 40, 4,000, 40,000, 400,000. Bring them with you, and let us unite in all realms. All realms. And may you know that you are infinite, and you are born of all things. From my heart to your heart, Ke aloha nui. From my bowl to your bowl, Ke aloha nui. From my water to your water, Ke aloha nui.
Ku ha'aheo